Jai Baba. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming. Jai Baba. I like to always start a concert with Baba's words. So I'm gonna do this, and then we'll have a moment of silence, and then I'll get started. My unique experience of the beyond state is so unique that I simultaneously experience being everything and beyond everything. I am the song, its words, and its melody. I'm also the singer. I am the musical instruments, and the players, and the listeners. And on your level, I explain to you the meaning of what I, the singer, sing. Come with me to a place you've never seen. Come with me into a space you've never been. I'm not the one you think you know. Finding me is letting go. Come out of a place that time will spare. Reach on out of your darkest despair. Climb on out from a place of constant storm. Come to a form that is no form. Finding me with you all around. Come fly with me and feel yourself unbound. Take it all in and fill your cup. Then drink it in and fill your cup back up. Dance with me in a place where time won't spare. Dance with me where darkness cannot dwell. Fling yourself up to a place you never flew. A place where there's no me and you. Finding me with you all around. Come fly with me and feel yourself unbound. Take it all in and fill your cup. Then drink it in and fill your cup back up. Come with me to a place you've never seen. Come with me into a place you've never been. I'm not the one you think you know. Finding me is letting go. 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 Jai Baba. Thank you. Thank you. How's the balance and the volume? Is it okay? Okay. Good. The day that I first met you, I barely caught your name. I just almost walked away. I didn't get the game. But somehow inside of me, I could recognize the glow. And when I later thought of you, I felt the feeling grow. When next you came to me, I could not hold your glance. But somewhere deep inside of me, I thought I'd take a chance. 'Cause it was you who I stumbled toward and fumbled my way to. It was you who, when I met you, I just knew. It was you who captured me and held my heart agglue. It was you. It was you. And when later on I thought back about the time when I first saw a life could change, how it could be sublime, how you could set me free if I would hold you near. And if I just did that, you would never disappear. And though there've been those times when I've slipped up and lost my way, but you have always followed me and brought me home again. 'Cause it was you who I stumbled toward and fumbled my way to. It was you who, when I met you, I just knew. It was you who captured me and held my heart agglue. It was you. 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 Oh, it was you. It was you, 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 you. It was you. It was you. Jai Baba. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this next song, I actually wrote many, many years ago. I was here in 1975 at Maribod, and it was a time that there was a couple here named Tom and Dorothy Hopkinson. Some of you may know them, have met them, and some of you may know a book that they wrote called Much Silence, which is a wonderful introductory book to Baba. Anyway, I was with Tom Hopkinson, I think on the hill around the Samadhi one day, and he pointed up to the tower over the Meher retreat, you know, that big tower there. And he was saying, he was pointing out that one way of looking at that tower, it looks like it's like a soldier there with two eyes and a nose but no mouth. And it was sort of kind of an interesting image there. And it got me thinking, there actually are some metaphors here on the hill that are kind of worth thinking about. So anyway, I wrote this song, and you'll hopefully be able to pick out the metaphors. The hill stands alone midst a dry, dusty plain. Looking from afar, its slopes they seem restrained, and as one starts to ascend, the sun beats down on them as the bill beckons all welcome home. At the top of the hill is a sentry standing high, with 2 eyes but no mouth. He gazes across the sky to spot pilgrims from afar, to assure they meet no harm as they come to make their journey home to die. Up here on the hill, all things come to an end. Up here on the hill, we have come to meet our friend. There is no space, no time, and no reason for the climb. Only you waiting for me. Only you silently. The soil is so hard, won't yield to the pick. This ground, it is rock, it won't yield to the kick. And yet still it complains for the prospect of rain, but cries only with the planting of your kiss. Flower stands outside of your door. It braves the strongest winds, and at night it stands alone. In harsh climate it lives, and always its beauty gives, and in indifference its roots have grown strong. Up here on the hill, all things come to an end. Up here on the hill, we have come to meet our friend. There is no space, no time, and no reason for the climb. Only you waiting for me. Up here on the hill, all things come to an end. Up here on the hill, we have come to meet our friend. There is no space, no time, no reason for the climb. Only you waiting for me. Only you silently. Hey, Papa. I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you. Traversing along infinite pathways, getting lost on the manifold backways, gathering branches and brambles and thorns, winning, losing, dying and born again. Gusting through winds from turbulent skies, bursting through forests, putting out fires, crashing through forests, battling flies, crashing through waves, getting capsized. I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you. Playing and learning, studying and schooling, and girlfriends and boyfriends kissing and dueling, coming together and then divorcing, jobbing, hobnobbing, and rising and falling, and I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you. Time is is the prompter, time is the spoiler. Ever's never, it'll finally destroy you. Come all to me, it's more than a promise. Find him here when you're seeking solace. Time and again you turn to enchantment, trying to find your final contentment. When once again you return empty-handed, if you turn back to me, you'll find what you're granted. Through turning and inner resolving, burning and yearning and plainly involving, serving and swerving and ever rendering, bowing, allowing and final surrendering. I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you. Waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you. Waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you. Jeba. So I was reading in Mara Mayher, that wonderful book that David Fenster wrote. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Amazing stories about Baba's most beloved. And in it, it was talking about the period on the New Life when the women Mandali were on the New Life with Baba. And they were traveling in the New Life caravan, which is at Marizad, of course. And because they were kept separate from the men, that the women were quite a distance from where the men were, because the men weren't allowed to be with the women. So Mani said that they had to have a means to notify the men if they had any kind of special need, like to stop or slow down or whatever it was. They had to have a way to do that. And so they used a camel bell. And the camel bell they use is actually hanging in the back of Mandali Hall at Marizad. If you go to Marizad, go into Mandali Hall, at the very back, you'll see it on the right. It's a beautiful bell. So Mani said about this camel bell, she said that this was a bell that when there was a caravan going through the desert and it stopped at an oasis, and the camels, everyone was resting there, and the camels were getting water, and everyone was sort of kind of regathering themselves, getting ready to kind of go back in the desert and continue their journey. That the lead camel had the camel bell on. And when the lead camel stood up, when it was time to go, that bell rang. And it was a notice to the rest of the camels, okay, it's time to move on. And what Mani said about that, she said that the camel bell is a metaphor to say, don't let yourself get waylaid. Don't let yourself sort of just get complacent, but keep moving forward is the meaning of the camel bell. And even though there are periods of rest where you need that rest to reconstitute oneself, she said, don't let that take over. Keep your resolve to keep moving toward Baba. So that's what this song is about. So. Walking through the desert night, the stars shining on high. The camels trudge along the way, they barely budge, their voices sigh, leaving behind the scorching sun that stops all in its heat, taking us toward our goal, the one we sorely seek. And in the distant mounts of sand, and far beyond the ridge, a glowing light flickers up and dies back down again. But as it flares up again, I'm not sure what I see. But in the distance, seems I see the shadow of some trees. Oasis, oasis, away from all we've left behind, a stopping place for all our cares, on our way to the divine. The dromedary's bells jangling, the beast's getting aroused, the promise of a resting place, and water springing from the ground. And as we close upon the place where the palms come in relief, and we see not one but several travelers asleep under the trees. And as we crawl up to the pit where the fire embers glow, we dismount and stretch our legs as the sleepers toss and groan. We're all just wayfarers here, we've stopped along the way, holding on and bearing up to travel one more day. Oasis, oasis, we ache to redefine a place to heal and check our zeal on our way to the divine. Please, let's stay another day. My companion, I implored, but he said to stay another day would delay us only that much more. So as day gave way to night, we loaded up our pack, and with camel bells ringing out, we mount upon their back. And as the desert heat recedes, we climb into the night with covered faces to protect ourselves from the wind and heat and light. And as the garden of our dreams dissolves into the past, we leave behind the path we tread, pursuing what our shadows cast. Oasis, oasis, away from rest and on we go. Oasis, the place we come to relieve us of our woe. Oasis, oasis, but away we are resigned. Help us to find our way back to the path, to the divine. Help us to find our way back to the path, to the divine. Thank you. Thank you. This is a song I sang at the Amartithi, and I'd like to sing it, but ask you guys to help out. It's a song called La ilaha illallah, and that's in Arabic. It means there is no God but God, and it's the basic core tenet of Islam, or it's sort of one of them. Or you can correct me, but I think it's the core tenet. And I'm told that Baba, when he first gave the prayer of repentance, it was during the New Life, and he had a number of things read out before saying the prayer, and this was one of the things he had read out. And I'm quite sure he had this read out many, many times. So I'm gonna sing the chorus to it once, and then I'm gonna ask you guys to join me on the chorus, okay? And then it will really make a really nice sound in here, okay? La ilaha illallah, Meher Baba Avatar. La ilaha illallah, Meher Baba Avatar. Okay, you ready? La ilaha illallah, Meher Baba Avatar. La ilaha illallah, Meher Baba Avatar. You are knowledge, power, bliss. You are the source we can't resist. We come to you on bended knee. You lift us up, you set us free. La ilaha illallah, Meher Baba Avatar. La ilaha illallah, Meher Baba Avatar. You're the seed within us grows, the light within us glows. In our slumber comes your prod to know you as our loving God. La ilaha illallah, Meher Baba Avatar. La ilaha illallah, Meher Baba Avatar. You were Avatar Jesus, the one who healed the cruel. And as Avatar Buddha, you revealed the jewel. As Krishna, you manifested joy. As Muhammad, the false destroy. Now you're here as perfect man, the same one come again. La ilaha illallah, Meher Baba Avatar. 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 Meher Baba Avatar. Meher Baba Avatar. Jai Baba. Great. I'm going to switch to the piano. Can somebody help me with this so we don't make an awful noise while we unplug this thing? Yeah, you can pull it. Thank you. Okay. Power's off. Test, test. How's the balance? Test. That sounds a little loud, doesn't it? How's that? Good? Okay, thank you. So, this next song I wrote after thinking about the new life. I was thinking, Baba called the Mandali together, I think it was August, was it not? August of 1949, after the Great Seclusion, to inform them about the new life. And he put to them the question, from now on, there's going to be a different life. Could you get rid of everything? We're going to go out on the road. The rules are different. I'm not going to be, playing the role of master, though you still have to obey me. Somehow that reconciled. And you had to live according to all these conditions, and he put them out there like the condition of 100% cheerfulness. They were very, very strict conditions. And he said to the Mandali, you've got I forget how long they have, but not very long to make up your mind to either come with me or accept that you may never see me again. And of course, in the end, he chose about 20 people to go with him amongst the men, including 4 women like that. The women didn't have to make the choice. Baba made the choice for them, but the men had to make a choice. So I've thought about that, and I thought, how would that feel to be put in that position? Because in a way, it's kind of a position I feel like, I'm in almost every day, and that we're all kind of in. Is like, are we going to really accept, what Baba's asking of us? So I wrote this song about that very thing. So it's called All In. You came to me this morning, a quiz was in your eyes. I could feel the motor humming, I was in for a surprise. But never did I expect to hear these words come out of you, asking me to tell you what I knew I'd have to do. And with a little smile you egged me on, just in case I didn't catch your meaning, I wouldn't accept your grace. You said, all in, are you all in? Stick to me through thick and thin, give to me your every whim. Are you all in? Are you all in? Stick to me through thick and thin, give to me your every whim. Your question, I looked down at my toes, will put myself right on the line. With that, I almost froze to recognize that from now on I'd have to change my point of view. So I held my breath and swallowed hard and stunk a glance at you, but you just winked at me as if to say, all you gotta do is try and I'll be there to show the way. I said, all in, I am all in. Stick to you through thick and thin, give to you my every whim. I am all in, I am all in. Stick to you through thick and thin, give to you my every whim. Thank you. Thank you. This next song it's a metaphor song, and I think will become very clear to you. It's about my experience, and I don't think I'm alone in this experience, that in my life with Baba and in my journey with Baba, that there's an impulse to move toward Baba and to keep moving, but then there are these voices that come up inside that, and they sort of get in the way. And there are voices like, oh, you don't really deserve what he has to offer. Like, who are you to think you're worthy of him? What makes you think you can put up with this? Or, are you really up for all the grief that this may entail? Those are the kind of voices. None of you probably have those voices, but I do. I've had them in my life. And so I created a song about that, and I call those voices sentries, because they're sort of like guard against, the forward movement. They're there to protect the ego, right? That's their function of those voices. So I wrote this song called Sentries, and it was interesting that after I wrote it, somebody pointed out that Malcolm Schloss had written a very similar poem that I came across that some of you may know, called The Gates of the Mind. And I'm just going to read a couple of stanzas from it just to sort of give you the feel for what Malcolm had to say about it. And then I'll do the song. This is from Malcolm Schloss, who was a very early lover of Meher Baba's, and a very important one. He wrote a book called Ways to Attain the Supreme Reality that I think this is from. So, the gates of the mind are easy to find. They stand at the end of the roads that wind from the outer world to the inner shrine, and each is labeled, "This is mine." So you get the idea from that's what he's speaking of. I don't have a music stand, so I'm hoping these things don't fall over. Today was just another day of walking home to you. Traveling the byways, my destination overdue. From in your kingdom I could sense a fragrance in the air. Just like this is out of... Start again. Today was just another day of walking home to you. Traveling the byways, my destination overdue. Entering your kingdom, I could sense a fragrance in the air. Your presence permeating all the things living there. Then out of nowhere, a sentry did appear. His hardness apparent in his glare and in his gear. What is your business? You're not fit to see the king. And as he spoke, I felt frozen sickles on my chin. Guard the entry, lock down the gates. Sentries are there to make sure I escape. But when they tell me I won't find you here, but passing through them's the only way to become a seer. Walking farther on through a stream I tried to ford, but just a few steps forward from the bush I felt a sword. Stumbling to a halt, I looked into the eyes of another sentry who stepped up, pushing me aside. This one, though, was different. A tear was in his eye. Don't go no further, there's only grief ahead you'll find. I settled into his eyes and looked into his heart. In his grief he caved, allowing me to part. Sentries spring up from all around. They bar my way as they hold their ground. But when I tell them and I try to hear, then they lower their guard and let my passage clear. All the sentries I meet, they seem to be so real. They come at me with swagger, they come at me with zeal. But tearing them down just opens up my seeing that every sentry springs out of the shadow of my being. So on I continue my walking home to you. And as I get closer, you go in and out of view. But for each and every sentry that I leave behind, the fragrance of your presence just permeates my mind. Thank you. sitting next to you and gazing at your face. I melt within your silence, get lost in your grace. Yet the pull of all around me keeps tugging at my door, keeps trembling my rafter, calling out for more. Come out, come out, my mind is in a rout. There's so much here inside me that tries to drown you out. And Baba, when I'm with you, I'm drawn into your bliss. When I pull away, I fall in the abyss. Your eyes, your gaze, you travel to my core. Yet so often I just look away and ignore you. So return to you again and again. I'm asking you to hold me, draw me back within. You promise me you're steady, you promise me you're here, but once again I leave you and disappear. Come out, my mind is in a rout. There's so much here inside me that tries to drown you out. And Baba, when I'm with you, I'm drawn into your bliss. But when I pull away, I fall in the abyss. Your eyes, your gaze, you travel to my core. Yet so often I just look away and ignore you. Jai Baba. I'm going to go back to the guitar. Can somebody just give me a hand with that, please? Is that what you want? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, maybe that'll stay. Okay. How's that? So, I am by profession an organizational consultant. That's what I do for a living. And in that regard, and I've been doing it for many, many years, I run lots of conferences, meetings, retreats, workshops, all kinds of stuff like that. I know I've probably done thousands of them. Now, I learned about, of course, as I think many of us here did, if not all of us, that Baba had in his lifetime a number of meetings with what he called the spiritual hierarchy, which is the people on the inner planes of consciousness. And Baba said that the avatar creates the plan and he implements it through the spiritual hierarchy. So he has to have the spiritual hierarchy kind of on board with his plan. So he has these meetings with them. And the one that's sort of the best known meeting that I think for most of us is the one that took place in Assisi. Was it 1932 was the date? And it was in a little cave. It was not, probably cave, I've been in the cave. It's probably about maybe 2/3 the size of this part of the stage. It's a little cave. And there's 7,000 some people in the spiritual hierarchy. Now, I don't know how they all fit in that space. And it may have only been the people on the higher planes. May have only, but even then, hard to imagine how they all fit there. But anyway, Baba went in that cave and he had a meeting with the spiritual hierarchy. And he said, and he did that for a day, like 12 hours or something like that. And he said that in that day, they planned out the future for 2,000 years, which to me is a pretty good level, pretty good day's work, I would think. So, being somebody who runs meetings for a living, I sort of wonder, like, so what actually happens at a meeting of a spiritual hierarchy? I mean, do they have keynote speeches? Do they have breakout groups? Do they have, award dinners? What actually happens at these meetings? So I decided to write a song about it, and you can decide for yourself whether this is actually realistic or not. But at the meeting of the spiritual hierarchy, all were there, no room for malarkey. Some there in spirit, some were there bodily. At the meeting of the spiritual hierarchy. To start the meeting, a roll call was made. Some sat here, but some would just illuminate. The mood was uplifted, but one complained. Since when do we allow members who aren't even saints? A new one asked, why are we all so jolly? Is this meeting real or is it a folly? It was told, have fun, but just don't mess around with the wallies, or they could drive you right out of the spiritual hierarchy. Some in the crowd seemed lost in bliss. Some were there just wanting to reminisce. And a couple of musts, they seemed quite amiss. But what would happen next, no one of them would dare to miss. For in a flash, the host did arrive, his four kutubs by his side, and all were dazzled by the one most high, the leader of the spiritual hierarchy. The host carefully laid out his plan to transform every woman and man, something that never happened since time began. But to move creation forward needed more than one middleman. He said, the task we face is urgent and clear. Humanity is near to its nadir. So all here must to my plan adhere as trusted members of the spiritual hierarchy. I've given each and all a job to start, but to get it done right, you're gonna have to be smart. 'Cause now you're all gonna have to play your part to help humanity wake up to its heart. So all did cheer and all did vow to follow the plan. Then each one bowed. By serving their king, they were allowed to be honored members of the spiritual hierarchy. So with solemnity they completed their task, and with the work done, it was now time for a repast. The wine flowed freely from the winemaker's cask, and each got more, much, much, much more than they could ever ask. And then, well, the members were sent back to the plains from which they did descend to join the master in his grand advent. These great members of the spiritual hierarchy. At the meeting of the spiritual hierarchy, all were there, no room for malarkey. Some came in spirit, some were there bodily. At the meeting of the spiritual hierarchy. At the meeting of the spiritual hierarchy. At the meeting of the spiritual hierarchy. some people actually take that song seriously. I hope you don't. This next song, took me 8 years to write this song. And I was in a songwriting workshop with a woman named Beth Nielsen Chapman, who's a Nashville Hall of Fame songwriter. And I told her that about this song, and she said, well, that's nothing. I have a song that took me 15 years to write. So I feel like I'm pretty efficient songwriting as far as I can see. It's called Somewhere Behind Me is the name of the song. And so after I wrote it, a friend of mine told me that they had read where a Sufi poet said that this is how God approaches us, is from behind us. And it really does make sense to me. Anyway, you can decide. I've been too long on the road. I've been too long in the cold. Won't you come and embrace me again, like you do now and then? Won't you come and take away my pain, for you vanish in the wind? You say you want my company. You say you want me free. Won't you come and hold me again, like you do now and then? Won't you come and embolden me again, for you vanish in the wind? I've been afraid to be free, afraid of my own company. I've been a fool to live out on my own. You are a savior to me, the one I'm longing to see. But will you not come find me? And will you not come find me? And will you not come find me? Somewhere behind me. I've been too long in the dark. I've lived too far from my heart. Won't you come and break me again, like you do now and then? Won't you come and awaken me again, for you vanish in the wind? I've been afraid to be free, afraid of my own company. I've been a fool to live out on my own. You are a savior to me, the one I'm longing to see. But will you not come find me? And will you not come find me? And will you not come find me? Somewhere behind me. Somewhere behind me. Somewhere behind me. Jai Baba. I've got a couple more, and then speaking of, few more. I finished writing the songs for my second CD something like 2 years ago, and then took about a year to record the CD. And I didn't write anything after that. And I thought, am I ever going to write another song? And frankly, I just actually saw an interview with Bruce Springsteen where he said the same thing. So I felt a little bit better about it. Not that I compare myself to Bruce Springsteen, but I certainly don't have a guitar technician, so that's Anyway, and then sometime this summer, this song popped out for me. And this is the first time I've played it for a group, for an audience. So I'm going to ask you just to, if you will, indulge me with this. To me, it's a Baba song, but it's not as explicitly. It's called "There's More." Found an old worn notebook lying on the shelf. Been looking to remember some forgotten parts of self, but it came so unexpected when I was looking for something else. But a friend saw it lying there and he said, "Hey, what's this?" So I opened up the pad, saw my writing on the page, and leafing through my past and taking in the ages, the memories flooded in, filling up my heart. But then I saw a blank page I'd yet to start. There's more, there's more, there's more to hunger for. There's more to receive and more to give, more heart to be broken and more to forgive. There's more, there's more, there's more. My life has been so turned about. So many times I tried to enter new domains and cast my netting wide, while some paths ended cold and left me in the dark, but some paths just lit up my heart. There's more, there's more, there's more to hunger for. There's more to receive and more to give, more heart to be broken and more to forgive. There's more, there's more, there's more. Thought my life was disappearing right before my eyes, was reaching the end of the line. But then out of nowhere, this thought did arise. Just leap up and fly to the sky. Now I find myself at a juncture in my days, some friends disappearing, and it's easy to give way, but then I hear a whisper, there's more love to be made, with more to come to move me along my way. There's more, there's more, there's more to hunger for. There's more to receive and more to give, more heart to be broken and more to forgive. There's more doors to be opened and more yet to live. There's more, there's more, there's more, there's more, there's more. J. Baba. Thank you. Thank you. Got one more. Thank you all for being here. You are a deep blue sea, turning and churning ceaselessly. How will we find you? And when will you set us free? You are a bright shining star. You light up the sky from near and far. How will you guide us? And when will you set us free? Oh, set us free. You are the storm, clearing the air, exposing the cracks in our hearts to lay all things bare. You are a forest green, offering shade neath your canopy. How should we come to you? And when will you set us free? Oh, set us free. You are the rain, erasing the stain from all of the grasping, so only love remains. You are you are you are indivisible, and none can see you but with eyes divine. You are the one without a second. You are beyond imagination and conception. You are worthy of love because you are love. Jai Baba. Thank you all. There's probably more cake out there if you want more cake. Thank you all for being here.